Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Meeting Protocol Monthly podcast, where we chat with some of the coolest people in the business and bring you useful and relevant information about what's happening in the world of event planning. I'm Dora Figueredo, the head of events and education at Meeting Protocol, coming to you from New Jersey, as always. If you've been listening to the podcast regularly, you might remember that just a few months ago, I spoke with Sasha Saladziak of Live Nation and Samantha Melly, the creative connoisseur. And a big part of that discussion was how to better prepare those entering the events industry as they are instructing the next generation of event planners at Toronto's George Brown College. This conversation got me thinking about who I should talk to next. And I realized that I really wanted to feature somebody just entering into the industry to share their point of view to help us seasoned professionals understand how to better train and build the skills of our assistants and coordinators that help us bring our events to life, because truly without them, our events wouldn't happen. So to that end, I am excited to introduce you all to Maria Carapucci, a recent meeting professional who I am confident will definitely make waves in the event industry as her career develops. So thank you so much for Maria for being with us. Tell us where you're joining from and a little bit about your current role.
Thank you, Dora. I'm actually joining from the office today, where I began as meeting coordinator BioNJ last January. And we're getting started to kick into gear for our fall event. So I'm super excited. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So let's get started with some pretty basic questions. What got you interested in the events and meeting industry?
Well, at a young age, I've always found joy and excitement in bringing my friends and others together to create memorable experiences. And I think for me, the key word here is memorable. Something I love about events is the follow through and the memories and the connections that attendees get to make with one another. Like for them to be able to look back years from a certain event or meeting and say, that one person I met, I still talk to him or her today, or that one inspirational speaker that you'll never forget about. That's one of my favorite and rewarding aspects of the job. Additionally, my friends have always looked at me as the planner within my friend group, and I kind of took that and ran with it and never looked back. So when I kind of brought that role into college with me, and I made sure throughout the 4 years, all my friends had unique and exciting birthday plans. They know I'm always up for a good challenge. I love looking for the ways to make an event really stand out. And it's what draws me to this industry. I mean, every day I get to speak to new people, develop new relationships, and problem solve. And that's one of the many reasons why I enjoy working here at BioNJ. As the Life Sciences Trade Association for New Jersey, we develop and host numerous programs and events each year focused on different topics, located at different venues, drawing different audiences. So this stuff's all very exciting to me, and it brings a new story to each day.
I love that. It brings a new story to each day. Oh my gosh, I'm going to steal that. That's a really great line. I hope that, so as a fellow event planner, I love planning other people's parties and planning vacations and stuff, but I hope that other people are also planning cool things for you.
No, they are. They do.
Okay, good. Because it can get a little dicey when it's just one-sided.
No, yeah.
I once told my husband that my dream would be for me to just show up to a vacation with the two of us.
Right. I
And
know. Yeah.
yeah. One of my best friends who she has kids now, so we don't vacation together as much. But when pre-kids, we used to travel together all the time. We would split the duties. So she like really loves food. She's a big foodie. So she would say, I'm going to plan all of the food stuff and you're going to plan all of our activities, and they're going to come together and like do the Tetris to make the agenda happen.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can relate to the foodie part. I love trying new restaurants.
Yeah. That's the best part of traveling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how long have you been working, including any internships or part-time work in the field, and in what capacities in your current role?
Yeah, so following my graduation from Rutgers in May of 2022, I began working at a country club where I had the opportunity to manage a variety of social events for its members, which really helped me gain useful insights in the hospitality industry. And I'm able to bring that to my present role here as a meeting coordinator at BioNJ. I graduated Rutgers with a bachelor's in health administration and a minor in business administration. So when I saw this opportunity at BioNJ last January, I had to jump on it. I can happily say that I have no regrets looking back. My manager, Debbie Manito, BioNJ's executive director of events and meetings, has been a wonderful mentor. And BioNJ's president and CEO, Debbie Hart, truly believes in giving all team members a chance to share their ideas and be a part of the process. One of my favorite examples is the Bio International Convention in June that I was able to attend. And I actually met you for the first time in person, Dora. But with 18,000 attendees and first time back in person since COVID, it was such an energizing experience. And I'm super excited for next year's, which I believe is in San Diego.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it too. I actually have already gotten the restaurant that we're gonna do our.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about it. So what surprised you in your first few months doing this work, now that you've been doing it for about a year?
To start, this may sound cliche, but I truly didn't expect to be surrounded by such an amazing team. Really, each person is willing and happy to share advice, help, and give guidance. And with this being my first job out of college, it's invaluable. And as we know, for successful event planning, you have to be organized, but the level of detail required for corporate events is definitely more intense than I realized. But it definitely keeps me on my toes. And the level of unexpected challenges that could arise was also surprising. So you're really you're problem solving all the time. But also being new to the biopharma industry, I've been really impressed by some of the inspirational and amazing people that I've already met. Watching our events and the impact that they have on participants has been really rewarding.
Yeah. And I love your point about the problem solving. I've said this in past episodes, so our listeners are probably tired of hearing me. Sometimes people will say like, oh, you're an event planner, you just like plan parties. And it's like, no, yes, but it's a lot more than just that.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are so many, especially in the corporate world or in my work outside of meeting protocol with Choose New Jersey, you know, there's a lot of, we're sort of adjacent to the state government, and there's just so much that needs to be overseen and like planned to the minute while still remaining flexible that things can change at any moment.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what's been most helpful as you've been learning on the job, and also least helpful?
I would say from day one, the amount of support that my team has given me and gives me daily has been the most helpful as I've transitioned into the job. Their guidance and mentorship has been extremely helpful. And additionally, being able to work with and learn from BioNJ's members as well as network with industry professionals gives me access to new ideas and trends and helps me stay on top of the hottest topics. You know, I really admire their expertise and knowledge, and the events certainly couldn't go on without them. Definitely staying organized and focused. BioNJ puts on many events and programs at the same time. So for me to be able to quickly look up information on a project is essential in ensuring that I can successfully do my job. And I'm happy to say that I can't answer part two of your question because luckily I can't say that anything has not been helpful. I mean, every day is a learning experience, and I'm grateful for it all.
Awesome. How comfortable do you feel with like putting in your 2 cents in a big meeting, especially like I'm, you know, an elder millennial.
Mhm.
I guess you fall into Gen Z. And yesterday at work, we actually had a really big debate about which fonts are very millennial and which fonts are very Gen Z when we were planning
Oh, geez.
brochure. And, you know, it wasn't an argument. It was truly a debate. We were all having fun, but how do you feel to like raise your hand and like put in your 2 cents in a room full of folks who are not of your generation?
I think that as the time has gone on, I'm getting to that level, but it's definitely it's a scary thing and feeling. But you know, my team makes that all happen for me. They push me to share my ideas. So I think it's, you know, definitely who you who you surround yourself with, making sure that you have the support and encouragement that you need. It helps you to push yourself to speak out at those meetings and, you know, share your thoughts.
Yeah, I agree. As long as the people around you are supportive, and it sounds like all of the folks at BioNJ definitely are. Um,
100%.
yeah, then that's the best kind of career development you can get.
I like to say that nobody's gatekeeping their, best practices
Good.
here. You know,
Good.
everybody, they want to see you do good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. So now that you're a year into this, I'm sure it feels like you've learned so much over the last year. I know my first year of event planning, I started event planning like, I don't know, 8 or 10 years into my career. So it
Mhm.
was like a career change for me. And if I could go back to some of those first events, and make some changes, what I know
Right.
now is would definitely make those events better then. So now that you're a year in and you have a few events under your belt, what advice do you have for others that are just starting out?
I would tell anyone starting out to talk with as many people as possible, build strong relationships, embrace learning, be accepting of advice and enthusiastic to learn from experienced colleagues. And something for me that's helped me is being able to easily identify my mentors. It makes me feel confident in that I have the support I need to succeed. Um, Staying up to date on the latest industry trends and technology. As we know, things are always evolving and changing, especially, this AI talk. It's talked about pretty much every day, at least in my work day. Um, and something else I've quickly came to learn is that build strong relationships with your vendors. It's vital. I mean, we both want to look good and can only do so by working together. Um, and obviously communicate. Event planning is about organization and detail, but one thing can often set off a domino effect if it's not communicated well with others. And my last piece of advice would be, don't be afraid to ask questions. I'm always asking questions, and the key word in that question that you asked me is starting out, so nobody's expecting you to be an expert. And yeah, ask questions if you don't know.
I love it. Ask questions. That's good for every single level. I think that sometimes folks at the top forget to ask questions, especially of their subordinates, because they're used to being asked the questions, and so that two-way dialogue is really, really important for all levels.
For sure.
Yeah. Um, so I didn't realize you had your BA in health administration. So obviously going into BioNJ makes sense. But did you see yourself going into events? How do you see your career evolving?
This question jerks me a little because it reminds me of that question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I never liked answering that question because I try and do a little bit of living in the present. But with that being said, I'm enjoying the ride and loving how much I'm learning here. And I'm very lucky to be a part of this team. I'm looking forward to expanding my roles and responsibilities here. And the great thing about event planning is that you're always planning something new. So it keeps my job fresh and exciting. Um, and the last thing I would say is that down the road, I do hope to get my project management certification. So that would help me expand my knowledge and possibly uncover new opportunities.
Yeah, PMP is a really great designation to have. And I don't know if you know about the CMP, which is Certified Meeting Professional designation, which I have. And a really big part of my work here at Meeting Protocol. And actually, the reason for Meeting Protocol was we actually started as a CMP training organization. So we have a ton of exam prep. And for those listeners who don't know, we have this. I hope that you would know, but just in case, Meeting Protocol, we have a ton of certification courses, as well as the CMP exam prep. That's really what our big focus is. So if you ever, Maria, or anyone else listening, if anybody ever wants to talk shop about CMP or how it's been helpful for me or what it means in the industry, I'm happy to be a resource for that.
Thank you, Dora. Yeah, I did see a little bit about that on the website for Meeting Protocol. So that's a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and let's get to our closing question. What's the coolest event that you've been a part of, either as an attendee or a planner?
BioNJ's Biopartnering Conference, from a planning perspective, has been the coolest event thus far. The conference brings together biopharma, healthcare, and digital health professionals to learn from one another and find potential investors. It's the life sciences industry's signature partnering event in the Northeast. And I think here's where I really got a grasp on just how intense corporate event planning can be. There was a lot of moving parts, but it was so much fun to watch come to life after planning it all. We even got to meet a pilot on the US bobsled team who was participating in one of the exhibitions.
That's so cool.
So that was really cool. She came in the gear and everything, and she actually brought in the bobsled to exhibit. Yeah, so
Wow.
that was really cool.
Oh my gosh. I love asking this question because people don't always realize how cool some of the things that they've been a part of are. Like
Mhm.
somebody once one of the answers once was like she got to plan the Goo Goo Dolls, which I don't even know if you know the Goo Goo Dolls, they're kind of an old band, but she got to plan a concert for them, and I was like, how fun, like it was like a surprise show or something. I just people get to see and do the coolest stuff in this industry, and I'm here for it. I would never have expected you to say bobsled captain.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was even the setting up part of it with like figuring out if she should come through the back or the front with the bobsled, because I mean it's this big heavy thing. So that was definitely really cool. But I can't believe it's only been 8 months here
Mm.
and it's flying by. But I'm excited for the fall events and excited to see those come to life.
Yeah,
And I'm excited to see what's to come.
great. And I'm excited to see you in San Diego next year for
Me as well, Dora.
the
And hopefully no foggy skies this time.
fingers crossed. All right. Well, for our listeners who want to learn more about you and BioNJ's work, where can they go for more information?
They can go to bio bionj.org or our LinkedIn page. We have a Twitter page, so I can share that with you after we hang up.
Okay, great. And I'll put that into the show notes. Well, thank you so much, Maria, for being with us today and giving us your wisdom. And thanks to all of our listeners and Meeting Protocol fans for checking out this episode. Don't forget to go to meetingprotocol.org, where you can sign up for our newsletter that includes links to all of our monthly podcasts, a CMP tip of the month, and tons of resources for all things related to meeting professionals and CMP. Thanks so
Well,
much.
thank you for having me, Dora, and enjoy the rest of your summer.